message is reaching you in the best of health while I'm sending you my blessings of love. Because somebody woke up there today and it most definitely was not you. It was not you. Welcome, welcome, welcome on this beautiful Wednesday. Waiting for my people to jump in. And we're going to have another beautiful stream of consciousness on streaming consciousness. I think I like the way that roll off my tongue. On Monday, we was talking about the good guy being beautiful and relationships, and we was talking about a few different things on Monday. So if y'all didn't catch that live, you can go back and check it out. I would highly recommend it. I'm just waiting on my beautiful family to jump in. Y'all know I can't do this by myself. I mean, I can, but it's not as fun. It wouldn't be as fun. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I could do it by myself, but it wouldn't be nearly as much fun.
Hi, Dirt.
Hey, what's up? Now you can't have a phone like that, baby. Yeah, there we go.
You know what?
Hi, beautiful.
Hi, Dirt. How are you?
I'm blessed. How about y'all, beautiful ladies?
Well, I feel good.
You know what? So look, I was about to jump on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Spirit was telling me, like, it's gonna be a good one today. You need to cleanse yourself. So I had to jump in the shower real quick. That's why I'm a little bit tardy, because I had some told me just to come in here fresh, clean, light, and all. So I just wanted to let y'all know that it's about to go down. Hi, everybody.
Hey. See, I love her. I love Weedy K. And let me figure out how I'm gonna put this thing back on here, because sometimes I be needing an agent or something in my life, like to make my life better. Like, you know what, Sunshine? I really think that you broke my stand. I can't prove that you did it, but you shaking your head like you broke it. I knew you broke my shit.
I broke it. You remember you was sitting right there when I broke it? It was on class. Everybody seen me break it.
It was all right there.
Yeah.
When it fell over.
Listen.
Sorry.
Listen. No.
I wasn't sure that it was broke.
Bitch,
I just screwed the thing back on there and it seemed to screw on fine. But if it broke, it was me. I done it. Invoice me.
Hey, but you know what? I love the accountability, like, because that's me. Like, when I mess something up, I did it. Hey, my bad. Hey, it happens. Hey, we can get a new one, or shit. I mean, we can do it. I mean, like.
Yeah, but how the hell I'm gonna see her do it? Even though y'all see it when I am teaching, I am not focused on anything else except the energies of the classroom.
But you turned around because it got your attention.
You was like, don't worry about that.
Listen, you know what? Did I say that?
And here you are worrying me about it.
You know. Listen, bitch. Let me tell you something. When you be in one train of thought, I literally miss all the details. Like, I literally miss all the details. So when you left and I saw this thing was broke, I was like, what the hell? Y'all can't come in here and break my shit? And then Spirit's like, nah, I was that bitch Sunshine. I was like, why that bitch didn't tell me? But it was because you thought I had already seen it. I had not. It's fine. It's just like goddamn, why this shit ain't working no goddamn more. But you're right. Today's session is going to be absolutely amazing. I got a lot of insight. It seems like we all tended to be on the same page this morning, because Spirit gave me a question like 3 a.m. this morning and was like, Adisa, you need to teach the ladies how to meet the requirements of an awakened conscious man. And see, here's the thing. An unawakened woman can never meet the needs of an awakened conscious man. It's not gonna be right. It's not gonna be right. And all she can do is imitate it, but the energy will never ever be the fucking same. It will never be the same. So then it made sense to me why all of my male clients, you guys have no idea. A motherfucker can be rich than a motherfucker. Rich than a motherfucker. And I'll just use my daddy as an example. And I want to thank my daddy right now because my daddy actually he was a great teacher for me. He was an awakened man, a man of great consciousness. But his weakness was he never married an awakened woman. He would always go for dead women because dead women are easier to control. They're easier to control. And a lot of times the reason why a conscious man or an awakened man will not go after a awakened woman is because while he is, doing what he needs to do in this 3D world, she's going to seem like a fucking distraction. Like, why the fuck I got to change more? I didn't already accomplish everything that I'm supposed to accomplish. But the purpose of an awakened woman is not for you to get her to do more for you in the 3D world. The purpose of her is to keep you grounded in your 5-dimensional, in your multi-dimensional self. And my dad never got that. And because he never got that, it fucked up his ministry. It fucked up his vision. He went from one unawakened woman to the next unawakened woman to the next. Because if you go ahead and find your equal and you commit to being with your equal, that shit is going to shift you. It's going to shift you. And in order to even be conscious at all, you got to order yourself. So then when they come about, it's like, shit, I thought I was done. Now I got to go to another motherfucking level. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And for a lot of men, it's like, oh shit, I can't find that bitch. So I'm just going to I'm going to keep things the way that they are. And do you guys as men, do you guys have problems? Like, because I know my needs as a conscious woman are completely different than the needs I had when I was sleeping. Ignorance is bliss. I will tell you that motherfucking much. It really is. But when you wake up, you're like, oh shit. Like when I first awakened, I was like, it was scary for me. I don't know what it was like for y'all, but it was scary than a motherfucker. How did you guys feel?
And before the guys answer, I just want to say vice versa with women as well. Choosing men who aren't conscious because they want to be able to manipulate and do their thing without them really being conscious and aware of us. We was talking to somebody the other day who said, I don't want no nigga that know everything. I want to be the one to have all the knowledge and the wisdom and things like that. I ain't gonna say no names, but I was like, oh, okay.
Bitch, you know she gonna know who the fuck you talking about. You so messy.
Well, she gonna know, but everybody else ain't gonna know.
Yeah, she know what she said. She probably wouldn't give a fuck if I said she said it.
Right. Hey.
That's
but to speak on that a little bit though, Coach, it's crazy because we all are growing and we all are evolving, right? So I know me and I've always been somewhat awakened, but now I'm like fully like understanding that I need to touch different things to evolve more. But when I was in a certain state, I thought I needed certain things. When I was in that lower vibration of myself, I thought I needed certain things. So as I'm evolving into a new thing, I have no idea what the hell I need. Because this is all new to me. So this is like one of those things like, shit, I thought I needed this, but I seen like that ain't really I didn't need that at all. What I thought I needed was really just, it wasn't doing nothing for what I really need. But what I really need, I don't know, because now I see that having that didn't get me to nowhere. So now I'm evolving spiritually. Now I'm evolving with my emotions and things like that. So I don't know what can, other than what I'm doing, what I'm actively doing, and what you guys introduced me to, I have no idea what can enhance that, what can feed that more, because I've never done, this is all new to me. So for that person who is just now awakening, they don't really know what they need or what to expect or what they should be getting. So it's kind of one of those things. And for that partner too, it's like when you're in a relationship, and let's say both partners was not awake, and then one of them is awoke. That relationship is about to go nowhere fast unless that other partner catch on, because now that person is woke, they're gonna want to eat different, they're gonna want to read different, they whole shit about to change. So they not gonna, that relationship is about to really go different. So it's crazy, like when that happened, because that is like what y'all said. What happens, like now that I'm seeing, what happens to a lot of people is like that is not evenly yoked. We talk about that a lot too, and I want you to break that analogy down later too, Coach, because that one helped me understand it a lot.
That's amazing. That's amazing. My father didn't use the verbiage of awakened or conscious. He used the verbiage to describe his rebirth, he called it being born again. That's what he called it, right? Because he didn't have I think that was the popular term back then, but he called it being born again. And when you enter into that dimension, when you enter into that level, the first thing that happens is like, oh shit, what the fuck did happen? Is this life even fucking real? Am I stuck in the motherfucking matrix? And then you have to ground yourself. You have to ground yourself. And when you get into that fifth dimension of, I understand that I am not this, but I am an energetic being, then the things that ground you to this planet are actually your relationships. It's no longer like the money and the titles and the prestige and the image. You actually don't give a fuck about that shit anymore, because although it makes living in this 3D matrix easier and more enjoyable, it's not the shit that makes a spirit want to say, I want to stay here. It's not the shit that makes a spirit say that I want to complete my legacy. It's not the shit that makes a spirit say I have a mission to complete and I will complete it. That's not it. The things like, if you are a visionary leader, and my father is, and so is his daughter, when you are a visionary leader, those relationships anchor you. They anchor you to this fucking reality. So the more that you love the right people in this motherfucking reality, the also you're more capable in the possibility and the probability of you executing the vision that was planted into your heart. It will increase. You got to have the right anchors. But if you have invested yourself into loving people that were dead, if you have invested, when people awaken, a lot of them commit fucking suicide. It's like, what the fuck? This shit cannot, like, is this the shit I motherfucking signed up for? Now my whole, what do they call it? Maslow's hierarchy chart, the chart of needs. Now all of my needs have changed. All of my needs have changed. And now I need to learn how to function this avatar at its highest capacity. I need to learn how to operate in my optimal. And when I'm learning how to operate in my optimal, I need space. And when you're already married, and now all of a sudden you didn't awaken and you're talking about you need space? Like, what the fuck? No, we don't want to hear that. So what you trying to say? You about to fast from me? Yeah. That's literally what I need to do. I need to fast from you so I can get all of this shit in order. And if your love is unconditional, will you love me while I go through? And will you be here for me when I get out? And the only way they're gonna say yes to that is if they are awakened as well. Because they're gonna understand. If they're not awakened, the first thing that you're gonna get called is selfish. The first thing that you're gonna get called is, oh, you're not a family man. That's the second thing. The third thing you're gonna get called is, you might get called a motherfucking witch or a bitch. But men and women, what I have found to be true, when I distance myself from unawakened people, because why the fuck would an awakened person be walking with the fucking dead? Why would I be walking with them? So when I look at all these conscious people and I see who they walking with, I'm like, ain't no motherfucking way. Either you on a journey to commit suicide or some shit. I kid you not. I'll be looking at these conscious motherfucking men and I see that zombie that's beside them. And I be thinking, okay, what the fuck going on, nigga? What the fuck going on? Like, did you, like, what happened? What happened? Because a lot of times when you awaken, those old things need to pass away, because behold, you are new. But the old things that you got, shit, those are your relationships. What you think? What you think the old things that pass away? That's the old version of you. And the old version of you is attached to all of those fucking relationships that grounded you to this reality. Those things gotta pass, and that shit is painful. I don't, shit, like, I want to say I recommend it, but like, let me tell you this. It ain't for the weak. It's not for the weak. I think Seven had said last week. He had said that being conscious is such a like trendy word now that people just use that word flippantly. This shit ain't for the motherfucking weak.
No. And it's for me, as I'm on my journey, I'm starting to realize that it is definitely not for the weak, and subconsciously people are aware of that. That's why they don't even be like, that ain't, because they not built for this shit. And their body, psyche, and mind knows it. They may not be conscious of it yet, but their body, psyche, and mind is. That's why they over there. Because this is work. This is a challenge to the self-mastery thing, to figure out, like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I going through this? Why is this happening? And to take real accountability, that ain't easy. This definitely ain't for the meek. But at the same time, if you have desires and you have goals and you have anything that you really trying to be real about, you got to do it. So I'm at that point now to where, like the whole Growing with Dirt brand, I'm at that point now to where I know where I want to go and I know where I'm going. And I see what it's going to take. So either you going to get on board and start doing this shit with me, or stop talking to me, because I don't want to hear about what you, because you ain't doing the work that it's going to take to make that shit happen. So you still living in the fucking fantasy world, and I ain't got time for that. So that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, you speak of these things that you want, that you desire, that you're saying, but the work that it's going to take to get that, you ain't built for that.
That's because they have not established their standards just yet. Their standards of living are still based on their 3D reality, and those standards are. Oh shit! Let me. When I say the 3D reality, what I am referring to is a state that you tend to be in before your eyes are opened, and you won't know what I'm talking about unless it fucking happens to you. It's an experience. It's a personal relationship with you. It's a personal relationship with all of your darkness and all of your fucking light. And it's not something that you can experience vicariously through your fucking scriptures. I don't care how much you read the Bible. I don't care how much you read the Quran. I don't give a fuck how much you on your knees praying. What I'm talking about can only be experienced through a personal relationship with you. But once that relationship is established, then you're going to need those anchors again. And one of the biggest anchors in life tends to be that partner, your spouse, that one that you have committed your 5D world to and your 3D world to. And in the 3D world, this matrix that we live in, we call that a wife. We call that a husband. But that's only because they have chosen to journey with us also in the spiritual realm, and they're awakening, they're conscious of it, and you are as well. That's a different kind of relationship. That's a relationship that binds. That's a relationship that grounds. And that's also a relationship that turns your 3D hell into a 3D heaven. I call that a divine union, because we are equally yoked in the spirit and we are also equally yoked in the flesh. That's what I call that. Now, when you awaken, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. First thing you got to do, you know how David said, renew in me a clean heart, oh God, and a right spirit within me. That one right there, that's gonna take some work, and it needs to be some coaches. That one right there takes a lot of work. But then after you've done that and you've gotten that in order, then like one of the last stages that you'll do, because you work from the inside out when you enter into the fifth dimension, you work from the inside out. So once you have done that internal work, once you have done that self-development, once you have created time to understand and operate you, then you move into that 3D realm, or that matrix realm, as a new evolved version of you. And then you get to reintroduce yourself. And you get to see who you attract now. Oh, man. And that's when shit gets good. Because conscious people, because you are showing your authentic self, it's not hard to communicate with them. I kid y'all not. The 4 people on this call, I'll have a thought at 3 a.m. this morning. I'll say, okay, I need to be expanding a little bit about it, just a little bit, and I'll call 7, and 7 will expand me more, and then I'll call Dirt, and Dirt was already thinking about the same thing. It literally is like a telepathic connection. It really, and it works and it flows flawlessly. It's like we're all drinking from the same river, and it gets you to your goals faster. It gets you to your goals faster. Like, being surrounded by conscious men and women is the quickest way to get you ahead in your journey. This is why I'm hard on my students. This is why I'm hard on y'all when I tell y'all to let dead people, leave them alone. Don't you understand that a high priest can't touch a dead thing? Aren't you the high priest of your own soul? You can't be touching no dead thing. That's that pork. That's that pig. Don't you understand that shit is going to defile you? You got to learn how to let these things go. So, Dirt, you asked me a question earlier. You say, like, how does an unawakened person fulfill the needs of an awakened person? That shit ain't gonna motherfucking. I mean, you can do that shit unconsciously. You can do that shit unconsciously because, like, I learned from my mother. But when you learn unconsciously, it don't feel good. It turns into something called trauma. They're teaching, but they're still teaching you and teaching. Listen, a lesson is a motherfucking lesson, okay? You got to take your L's, okay? So some people are going to teach you unconsciously, but the way that they teach you, it doesn't feel like abundance. It feels like poverty. So that is the way my mother taught me. She taught me what not to be. And it fucking hurt. My daddy was more awakened than my mother. And he taught me what to be or what to go towards. Now, how he taught me was hard, but it was more beneficial. It was more beneficial. It was more strengthening of my soul. So as I awaken, those are the kind of people I'm looking for. I'm looking for the people that's going to strengthen my soul. It's going to be hard one way or the other.
Choose your heart.
Choose your motherfucking heart. So I got to choose. I got to choose mine. And then one of the things I had to learn as a conscious being, when you first awaken, there are some unawakened people. They be so cute. They be like little toys that you can play with, and they just unconscious about how glorious they are. And they just be in a season, and then you'll go your conscious ass over there and try to attach to them. And because your energy is saying, let's be real, and they can't do that because they're not awakened, you repel them. And you think, oh, it was just something wrong with that one. Nah, boo, you can't be unequally yoked. You can't be unequally yoked. I know it hurts me even when I say it. It hurt. You know why it hurts me? Because I tried it. Don't laugh at me, Dirt. Shit. You all married. You was like the exception. You went ahead and said, me and her gonna get together, and then in death we gonna be together, and then when we wake up in life and consciousness we gonna be together.
No, but see, because I went into that with that consciousness though.
What do you mean?
I started this relationship with my wife knowing that I want to marry this woman, and we gonna make it work. It's gonna work. Like, it was always, for me, everything I go through is what I need to get what I need or get what I want. I've always had that mindset. So, because I've been through so much earlier in my life that I had to adapt that mindset. I have to turn these negatives into positive, or my life is gonna be fucked up. And I always wanted to have a beautiful life. That was my mindset from youth, from a little kid. So going through those traumas, going through those devastations, I was like, okay, how is this gonna make me stronger? How is this gonna make me better? What do I need to learn from this? Because for one, I don't want to feel like this again, because I always was attached to my feelings as a young man. And there's certain things, if I didn't want to feel like that no more, it's up to me to learn to make sure I don't feel like this no more. And I can't put that on nobody. I knew that young, but I didn't understand what I'm starting to understand now. So it's really refreshing to be in this position, to be like, damn, everything I went through is really having purpose to just be vulnerable, help somebody else that's going through it that may not understand how to turn that negative into a positive, or how to use this to their advantage. So all the turmoil that my marriage had, all the things that me and my wife overcoming and working to build, now I can speak on that. And I know it's thousands of other couples that's going through that. And when they see that, like, damn, they honest and went through this and they made it through this, maybe I can trust them or trust him or trust whatever he's saying to get me to that, if that's what I desire. So I know everything I went through got a purpose.
Everybody.
That was my consciousness.
So when people awaken, they do another thing. They don't speak their truth. Maybe because they think motherfuckers is dead anyway, so ain't no point in telling them what it really was like. But here's the point: in order to awaken them, they only are awakened by that authenticity. There's nowhere. You gotta show them your authentic self if you care about them awakening. Now, most people don't. I'm be honest with you. Shit, most people don't. So it's like, if you want to be the master, then it's like have a bunch of fucking slaves, right? So keep them motherfucking in that slave consciousness. But when the kind of heart that I have, not. I want to try to awaken as many as I can, but I also understand that there are going to always be slave consciousness here. And I also understand that one is not better than the other. But if there's going to be slave consciousness, let it be that slave consciousness that ignorance is bliss. The people that are living in slave consciousness now, that shit is tormenting. Can we do something to make their matrix a little bit better? Let's make it like be blissful for them. So if they sleep, it's a peaceful sleep. It don't have to be a nightmarish ass sleep. When I was unawakened, my sleeping state was a nightmare. It was not no peace. Maybe some people had them or had that. I don't. Does that even fucking exist? I think it does.
Mine was peaceful. My sleep was real peaceful when I was because I wasn't here. But I've never not had good energy, not had good like. But my awakeness is at a whole nother level right now. So, but prior to this, I've always just been la 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 la. Everything's gonna be cool. It's all good. Ain't no problems. La la la. That's always been me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so while you were being that, while you were in your ignorant, blissful state, was people's experience of you, was it la 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 that for them?
No, I always kept it real, but I never really like took nothing. Like I was always light. I always was a light. I never got like super stressed about nothing, super serious about nothing, super because I always knew that like it's not like it's too much energy for that type thing. Everything is gonna work out. So I've always been that happy-go-lucky spirit. Like I don't know if that's unawakened or but
you're just a privileged motherfucker. That's what you. Okay, so when I was asleep, I was in hell. So
I can't say that either.
That's what I'm trying. So how did you? What was your awakening experience like? Like for me, it was severe depression. Mm-hmm. Like I was, do for a while, but then I was in like a severe depression, and then I had some relief after my dark night of the soul.
What happened for me is my do got shut down.
That's what you did.
Everything in that do was like shit. I ain't got no job no more. My marriage fucking up. I ain't got a relationship with my kids. Like my whole world was just like ain't no do no more. What's going on? So I had to really open my eyes. I had to become conscious of damn, this shit just ain't on autopilot no more. Like you gotta do something. You gotta fix something. You gotta change something. So then it was more so I need to figure out me. Say hi. You gonna come here getting away? Say hi.
It's becoming increasingly difficult for people to stay asleep.
Say that again, Seven.
It's becoming increasingly difficult for people to stay asleep.
Why do you say that?
Because it's the natural order of things. Mm-hmm. That's just how it's going. If we're all being led back to a singular point, right? Back to a singularity of unity and understanding and love. As this linear form of time unfolds, that's just what's happening. Hence, our unity and our motivation behind shifting things, right? And making the shift and transition more seamless in a sense, right? Because just like you guys are discussing, oftentimes the awakening is kin to an explosion of sorts, right? Like there is a catalyst outside of you that interacts with your life and causes a massive interaction that forces you into another state of consciousness, right? But I just think that that's not even I see that that's just happening increasingly on a more massive level. Hence why the balancing portion of that energy is making those who have acquired any sense of awakening, it's now being, I can say that word, burdened with the responsibility of teaching, right? Mm-hmm. Just like you said, there's a lot of people who have a sense of awakening or a sense of purpose and are operating in higher levels and elevating within themselves who do not answer the call of responsibility, right, to elevate the environment around them. But I think that's where a lot of, I wouldn't say depression per se, but you reach a state of unfulfillment, right? Like you have your own understanding and you have your own ways of doing things, but increasingly more to you, there becomes this feeling of there's more. Or I understand, but I'm still empty, right? And I just think it's all playing their parts. Like you have those who are still asleep, and it's just becoming harder and harder. The tools that are being used massively against the spirit are becoming more direct, more powerful, more lethal. And then on the opposite side, those who have awakened are being burdened with more responsibility to deliver that healing, to deliver that light, to bring people from their own darkness into, a real understanding of what's going on. And I don't think we'll be going back anytime soon, right? Like a lot of people's la land are being destroyed day after day. Like it's getting a lot worse, So I think really, shit, a lot of us be lucky. Like you can say blessed, you can say whatever you want, but like that time and just be on your side. Whatever happened for you to reach this point, bro, you got lucky. I don't give a fuck what you say, because it could have been you. It could have just as easily been you that's still stuck and needed somebody to come pull you out. So like, yeah, man, I think it's just the natural order of things. That's we out headed to the same place. We just on different paths, and that's cool.
No, Rose, what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you guys mind me asking what particular energy did you need most of that also caused you to awaken the most? Like, because my awakening stage, I was seeking for something. You know how the scripture says, seek and you shall find, ask and the answer shall be given? So I was like Neo in the Matrix, seeking something, right? And it was that answered me and I awakened. What was that one thing for you guys? What were you seeking that caused you to arise?
I was seeking approval. And it was rejection that helped me to awaken.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. So you attracted rejection so you could awake. Okay. I would like the guys to answer before I answer.
I was honestly, what caused me to awake was seeking godlike power. Because I felt so weak. I felt so inadequate. I felt so small. And then just remembering that all things through me are possible. So just remembering hearing that from a young man, so it was like I fucking tried everything else. Like, so before I just go all the way 5150, because I know where I can go to do what I need to do. But that ain't who I am. But I know where I can go to do what I need to do. So before I do that, let me give it all to you and seek that. If they say all things are possible, well, I got a lot of shit that I want to make possible. So let me really, for the first time in my life, get grounded in that spirituality to make these things possible. Let me get outside of this. Like that's what, because the world cheated me. The world burned me. The world messed me up. So I was like, for me to stay here with the spirit that I have, I need to tap into some type of like real God, because praying to Jesus wasn't working.
That's good.
Right? Like that's just for me. I don't want to knock nobody. Don't get me wrong, but for me, praying to Jesus wasn't working.
It worked when it worked. I got healed in the name of Jesus. It worked when it worked. When I needed that, that's what I needed. Ain't no fucking shame in that shit. I still love the Bible. Yeah. You're standing from a different perspective now.
Mm-hmm. I always say I prayed to Christ so much that he made me one.
Oh. I love that. I absolutely love it. For me, what caused me to awaken, I was seeking love. I was seeking love, and I thought that I could get that the first time around by allowing myself to carry a child to full term. Because as a woman, sometimes we will keep children when we know we don't have no motherfucking support because we're seeking love, right? That's just the truth, okay? Then I was like, that motherfucking shit don't fucking work. I chose to be responsible for a kid until almost fucking 26 because I'm seeking love. This is not a wise investment of your energy, sweetheart. This is not a wise investment, okay? So that didn't work. And then I sought marriage. I sought marriage. And when my children rejected me and when my husband rejected me, I finally understood that I had to love myself. And it was when I loved myself that I awakened to. So I was seeking love in the rejection in that 3D world of, even though you're a good person, Adisa, we're not going to fucking love you. We're not going to see you. It made me finally see myself. And here's the beautiful thing. When I finally started seeing me, it was like everybody else's blinders came off and they started seeing me either. And I was like, what fucking kind of magic is this, Jesus? Because all while I was asleep, this shit did not work. It was like I awakened one day and men were like, who the fuck is she? I'm like, nigga, I've been beside you for the last 15 years as your fucking neighbor. How the fuck you didn't see me? And because how you see yourself is how you show up. Absolutely correct. But when you're hearing what you just said, Dirk, from a 3D consciousness, it don't have the same translation. It doesn't have the same translation. So that's what caused me to awake. It was my pain and it was my deficiency. And like you said, I knew that I had to tap into the godlike power within me in order to feel good about being me. There was no other way. And when we strive to serve the God within us, that's really when we awaken. But the God is never on the outside of us. It's always on the inside of us. The person that needed to be loved was the God inside of me, and I had some fucking false idols up. I don't know what fucking like 10 commandment that is. I think it's number 3. I literally think like thou shalt have no other false gods besides me because I'm a jealous bitch and I'll kill you. I think that's number 3, right? It's something like that, okay? But you get what I'm saying. That one right there, I was violating that principle. I was violating that law. And when I got that part of my house in order, all the rest, like domino pieces, start. It was like, okay, you did that one, you did this one, you did this one. And it started like manifesting, and my 3D reality began to change. Now, they teach these concepts as the law of attraction, but shit, they didn't got so fucking complicated with that shit. Don't nobody know what the fuck they talking about. Like, let's talk about that stuff through real life and real stories. That's how you stream consciousness to people. If you want more people to awake, make that shit simple. Joshua taught in parables. That's how you taught. If you really want to make people, like, help people like you say you do, and like Seven was saying, there's a fucking burden. Well, I feel the burden. I wake up every day with that fucking burden. People ask me, well, why do you fucking coach? Because first of all, there's a fucking burden. This is my yoke. But this yoke is easy. Compared to that yoke I used to have, oh baby, this yoke is motherfucking easy. It's easy. But when you see, here's the thing about when you hear that call, 5D world thinks in oneness. It thinks, oh, you don't have to bear that yoke by yourself. If you want a team or you want a significant other beside you, we gonna have you equally yoked. The two can become one, and y'all can carry the burden together. See, it's that burden of the 5D world that says, I'm calling my divine partner to me. I want to share this beautiful experience with somebody that is awake like me. I need someone to anchor me to this fucking reality because these motherfucking dead people is getting on my motherfucking nerves, and my 5D spirit feel like I'm gonna float the fuck away. See, and that's because Seven said, you lucky, this, that, and this, and I used to think like that because of, you know, what I've overcame. But now I see it ain't been luck. It's been, you was born to do what you're doing. Yeah. So, like, I put you through those things. You went through those things to have
the experience that you need, to have the understanding that you need to do the work that you were born to do. So it ain't luck. It's all about design. That we all have different backgrounds, different ways of how we got here, but now we here. And that burden, it's like, it's not a burden for me because it gives purpose. It's like, you spending all this time wondering, damn, why I go through this? Why this happened to me? Why that happened to me? Dang, why I survived it? Why I make it out? You spend all that time doing this, and then you get to a situation like this, and it'd be like, that's why. That's why. That's why. Now go work. So it gives you purpose. It gives you desire. So it's not really a burden. It's a mission. It's like, okay, it ain't luck. It was like, no, design. Like, I kept you going by design. Like, this is purpose driven. So it's real good, and it's a great feeling to know that I'm still growing, to know that I'm still learning these things, to know that I'm still a baby, to allow other people to witness this journey, to be like, damn, okay, like, he ain't too far removed from where I'm at, or like he sounds whatever, but he's still grounded enough to, because it ain't my experiences. Like, I know now that I just happened to go through them. It wasn't for me. They ain't mine to keep to myself. They mine to give to the world. That's why I'm still here, to share it, because if I wasn't here, then I wouldn't be able to tell y'all what I've been through. Like, I'm the only one that can tell my story.
That's true.
That's why I'm still here.
That's true. You're absolutely right, Dirt. When my clients call me, and they'll ask me, it's amazing when you're awakened in your feminine energy. I'm a coach, so all of my clients, in one way or another, they mirror me. They mirror me in my feminine energy. But in my masculine energy, they are completely separate and completely different from me. So I will look at how they are showing up for me, and then I will read the data that masculine energy is giving me. And something that was really hard for me, I'm going to be honest. You see, honey, let me deal with this, okay? Oh, damn. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm being interrupted. I should put my phone on Do Not Disturb, okay? But one of the things that the 3D world was telling me, for a long time, it would tell me, hey, listen, we understand that we're seeking a woman who has looked like she hasn't gone through anything. We are looking for a woman that seems like she hasn't made any motherfucking mistakes. That is what the information from my 3D world was telling me. And my 5D self rejected that shit, because I'm like, fuck y'all. Like, fuck y'all, because I'm living in this fucking matrix. This shit, I'm learning from unconscious souls, and this shit is hard than a motherfucker. Ain't nobody guided me. And yeah, I'm making mistakes, and I have bruises to show the mistakes that I made, but I was trying. These bruises and these scars that you see, that you look down upon, these are the marks of me never giving up on myself. I never gave up on myself. I kept trying until I finally fucking got it. But now I understand why the 3D world looks for perfection, because it's looking for the end of an awakened woman. And they were catching me at the fucking beginning. I'm like, look, masculine energy is the end. Feminine energy is the beginning. So once a woman is fully awakened to herself, you better believe she gonna start taking care of herself. But she's gonna do it with a different kind of seed. See, some women take care of themselves in their unconscious state just because they need your attention. That's not That's not why an awakened woman takes care of herself at all. Let me tell you something. One of the reasons why I clean my house, let me tell you why I clean my house when I was unconscious. Because if somebody was coming over, I didn't want them bitches thinking that they was better than me. I'll just be honest. It was an image thing. I'm going to just be honest. Don't judge me. It was an image thing, okay? It was an image thing. But when I became awakened, I cleaned my house, number one, because it's exercise for me. It don't have shit to do with nobody else. Number two, the reason why I clean is because I understand that the orderliness of my home also represents the orderliness of my mind. I understand that the two are tied. So when people think I'm being extreme and, okay, listen, that shoe needs to go right here and that other shoe needs to go right here. No, 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 no. It's because I am structuring my mind through my fucking house. And you come in unconscious and just think, oh my God, she is just OCD about her motherfucking house. No, I'm OCD about my fucking mind. Yes, that's what it's about. But when you don't have the conscious intention, it comes off as too much. When you're not conscious and you OCD like that, it becomes like a tyrant. It becomes overbearing. But when you're conscious about that, listen, I can have messes in my home. When my son is being creative, he will have his paintbrushes and he will have his Legos all over the place. And I'm going to be completely fine with that. And that mess is not going to bother me at all. In fact, it's going to delight me because I understand that my son is evolving himself through his creativity. So now my house is no longer a house. Now I have converted into a home because people can bear new thoughts of consciousness within it. Does that make sense, what I just said? Okay, great. I feel like I'm complete. I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but this is a very good topic, and it is near and dear to my heart.
I can tell.
It is, yes, because I woke up with it on my mind.
So, my queen, my beautiful wife, said, can we offer suggestions for when you are on a journey of awakening but may have things or past versions of your sleep self block or impede the progress?
Ooh, okay. Say that. That's a good question. Say that again, because I want to grasp all of that.
Yep. Deep. Can you offer suggestions for when you are on a journey of awakening, but may have things or past versions of your sleep self block or impede the progress?
Okay. I can tell you how I did it. I'm not saying that that's the path that you should take. You have to know. See, my personal experience of awakening it might be completely different than yours because we have two different journeys to take. So I'm very leery about letting another person live vicariously through my awakening. I can just tell you what I did. Okay. So I tend to move slow in my relationships. I need to cut the motherfuckers off. I be taking forever. I really, really do. But once I do make that decision, I move quick. So I would tell people, hey, this is the new version of me. They would see me change. There were outside indicators. Like whenever I evolve, there's going to be some new hair. You can just believe that shit. Also, when I evolve, there's going to be new clothes. When I evolve, there's going to be a different level of skin being shown. Whenever I evolve, I get more sensual. Yeah, ain't no telling what might motherfucking happen, okay? My language is going to change. Right? I'm going to stop discussing the things that I used to discuss. So you are going to see the outward indications of my change. And then I'm going to give you a grace period to accept that new version of me or to not accept that new version of me. Now, this is me. This does not have to be anyone else. But after I have given you time and you reject the new version of me, then you are telling me, hey, I am trying to stay asleep. And I had to learn to give up my Christian theology that I have to save you and bring you with me, because that ends up hurting me. I had to learn to let them go. And that was so severely harsh for me because you love these things. You are attached to these things. And you're thinking, whatever is good for me has to be good for them too. And it's the time for me, so it has to be the time for them. And then I would become a tyrant. If people are not willing to go into their own consciousness, I don't force them anymore. And that mindset also reflected in the religions that I chose. Religions that choose to force people to awaken, I can't roll with that shit. And that's why I kind of stayed away from Christianity. That's also why I think sexy as fuck. But if they're going to be trying to force me to do shit, I ain't going to do it. This is the reason I do think they sexy though. God damn. But see, it is what it is. I hope so that's how I do it. I don't know if that's the way you need to do it. Some people, there's a scripture in the Bible that says a woman can win over her unconscious and her unawakened man by her own conversation. So if you just tend to be an example Just be an example. Don't try to persuade them. Don't try to convince them. None of that shit. You just stay in your own lane and be an example. And if they want to stay around, they're going to keep watching you. And hopefully it's going to take. And when it takes, your conversation is going to win them over. I think that that is the most gentle way. I think that that is the way that you have the least amount of casualties. So if you're going to do it, lead by example. Those are the only two ways that I can think of. Those are the two ways that I practice. I don't practice any other ways. Does anybody else know another way?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of restate the question and make sure that I understand what the question is. It sounds like to me that she's asking, like, as you're in the beginning of that awakening phase and you start to become conscious of the places where you're still asleep, and those places are impacting you and how you behave, like, how do you get out of those patterns? Is that what she's asking, or am I missing?
Yeah. Because, like, for me, that's just to give context to it, like, for me, I know a certain characteristic of my prior version of myself that's still with me. And, like, I'm conscious of it now, and I know, and I see what it's doing, I see how it's operating, and I'm there. But then I get so caught up in that it's still hindering, like, okay, you understand it, let it go and keep going. But then you get caught up in that thought, like, oh, I gotta fix this, I gotta change this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then you let that consume you, and it impedes you growing, because now you still stuck on, I'm still this person, I still got this in me, I should be better than this, I know better, why ain't I doing better? So, and then you get beating yourself up from that. So if that's how I took it.
Okay.
I want to go, but what suggestions do you have, Sunshine?
I think for me, a big part of the process was forgiveness first, right? Like, as I become conscious of the places where I am still sleeping, like, instead of, like, what you were talking about, Dirt, feeling that guilt and that shame about, like, damn, I'm still sleeping in this area, just, like, forgiveness for myself for being where I'm at and accepting that, hey, like, this is a process. It takes time. As you become conscious of things, like, you're going to continue to become conscious of more things. Like, at the top of one mountain is the bottom of another. So just, like, shifting my perspective to understand that this is a journey, it's not something that happens overnight, really helped me to get in a space where I could actually start dealing with things. And for me, like, one of my specialties is inner child healing, right? The majority of the time, if you're in a pattern or in a state of consciousness, it's because of something that happened with you between ages 1 and 7, because that's the time that we receive, like, the bulk of our programming. And then from there, until you awaken, you kind of just recycle those experiences. So generally, when something comes up for me, I say, okay, when was the first time that I encountered this? So I can go back and I can deal with what I told myself in those moments, what I programmed within myself in those moments that caused me to create this trigger or caused me to be in this unconscious state of, like, the real intention behind why I'm doing something, and kind of work from there in order to rewrite the pattern and change the programming that I have within myself. But definitely, like, forgive yourself for being where you at, and, like, get out of that guilt and shame of, oh, I'm still asleep in this area, or, oh, I didn't know this, and, like, oh, I've been fucking this up the whole time, and, oh, I bought all this shit on myself. Because I know once I realized that my abusive marriage was something that I created, co-created, and attracted, I was like, oh my God, I fucked up my own life. It wasn't him. You know, but I had to forgive myself, you know, and, like, understand that the way that my parents raised me, they were grooming me for an abusive relationship. The way that they reared me made me seek for someone else to control me, to tell me what to do. It caused me, you know what I'm saying, to become codependent. And so once I understood that, I was able to go back and kind of understand why I think the way I think, what things attracted this person, why did I have these experiences, what was I supposed to learn. But definitely had to forgive myself and accept, you know, like, that I'm responsible, but I'm not to blame, if that makes sense. Go ahead, Seth.
I agree with everything you just said. The suggestions that I would offer for anyone in this type of place, with your progress and your transition, consistency, practice, and I guess I would say journaling, but not in the typical sense, because I think it really, really helps to keep track of things. It can be really easy to allow you, who you really are, and life to take you away. Like, life will become an endless cycle of duties and responsibilities and places of enjoyment and emotions. But you really want to take time for yourself to keep track of you, right? Like, oftentimes, we only define real concrete steps of progress through emotion, through what we felt in this said moment and how we might feel differently in the future when we reflect on this moment, right? It's all happening internally, but you want to externalize that shit so you got something to look at, right? Say if it's a day, and I just want to lay out a general example. If there is a day when you witness yourself regress, right, and you witness yourself feel things that you've tried to work through, right? You witness yourself, you might express yourself in a way that is a reflection of the pain that you're trying to get over. But it will be very difficult for you to properly assess and confront that without taking the time to do so, right? So one thing that I talk to a lot of these people around me and a few of my students is, bro, keep track. Whatever happened, take some time. Take some time before you go to bed. Keep track of that, so you have something to look back onto, and you will be amazed at how much it honestly motivates you the more you do it. Because the more you're going to look back, you're going to see your progress in front of your face. And that, I feel like, especially in the beginning, is a very, very helpful tool when you're making a transition and getting over a lot of portions of yourself, leaving certain things behind, cultivating new energy and new behaviors and patterns within yourself. You want to give yourself something to tangibly see, because that is the portion of you that you're reshaping, right? You're reshaping the material you, the tangible form of you, right? And it would just make it a lot easier. Don't get me going, because I get the rolling down the steep hill. But yeah, a practice of making your progress tangible can be very, very helpful for when you're going through this process and you might be dealing with bumps in the road. And like she just said, right, dealing with having things or past versions of your sleep self block or impede your process. You need to be able to see your target clearly so that you can aim and shoot. So yeah, I think that's that, and shit, just it's a lot of things. Breathing practices, but consistency, practice, and putting things in front of you to really be able to keep track of yourself. Those are the suggestions I would offer for anyone, no matter where you are, who you are. You can use that to help your progress for sure. And
so can you expound on what consistency can look like and like adapting practices? Because that is a staple.
That's what I was literally. Oh, I can't stand y'all. That's literally what I was just about to say. Oh,
were you about to ask that, or were you about to give that?
No, I was just about to say, y'all. So to boost your confidence, and so you're not beating yourself up, because it's a journey, it's a process. Like, and I know that we be wanting instant stuff. Like, we in the process of we want to go to the gym and have the muscles the same day. But if you just incorporate something small, like Seven said, just something small that you can do every day, that you can make sure that you did that one small thing every day. Just that one small thing, even if it's just 5 minutes of taking deep breaths, or 2 minutes of taking deep breaths, or 1 minute of saying a prayer when you wake up. If you can just get in the practice of doing that one thing every day, that's going to give you the confidence to know that you're getting better. Because you can be able to look at that one thing and be like, well, I wasn't doing this before. Now I've been consistently doing this for a week. Okay, what else can I add on to that? It just builds your confidence little by little. That's what I wanted to add on. Just build. Don't try to jump to the biggest thing that you're trying to fix right away. Do something small. Just small steps. That's all I want to say.
Can I say
Something that I want to give is if it's like a real practice that somebody might be seeking, in the
Hello?
7 sound went out.
7 got that hotline.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
My bad. If you're becoming conscious, then what were you before?
Unconscious.
I'm really asking that to y'all three.
Unconscious.
Unconscious, right? So the unconscious, or what we often label it subconscious portion of our being, if that's what we're coming out of and learning to operate differently within, that's what we have to attack, and that's what we have to change. The easiest and most direct method of attacking or changing your subconscious is in the moments right before and during your rest period. So, what I would tell anybody who is on this live, that if you're having difficulties and you're in the beginning stages of your awakening and you want a concrete practice to be able to do consistently, then I would ask for you to mark out a 15 to 20 minute period before you go to sleep, right? Take 5 of them and breathe. Breathe. You don't even have to go through a real practice, just deep breathing. Allow your body and mind to mesh together and rest for a second. Turn off the fucking screens around, turn off the lights, get yourself together. After about 5 minutes, I want you to do 2 things on a piece of paper. Emotions or thoughts that, the biggest ones that might have been negative, that you might classify, right, as negative. So if you got upset, if you realized your tone was off with someone you love, if you realized that, this statement might have made you feel a certain type of way, right? Organize those things in the negative column. Then I want you to do what you wished you would have did, or ideally, how would you have dealt with this now, reflecting on this, right? And when you reflect on that, what I would tell you to do, I don't want to make it too difficult, but I would repeat those things. I would write them down 3 times in a row, whichever ones, because that's going to program you. You got to reprogram yourself. If you already programmed, then how the hell are you going to heal yourself? You got to reprogram. There's no way around it. You got to go step by step reprogramming this fucked up shit that we all going through, right? But when you do that, it will only take 15 to 20 minutes, I promise. But when you do that consciously, right? You're doing that before your brain waves go from delta to theta, right? Before your brain waves go from being conscious to unconscious, and you go into that dream state and you start to rest. But when you attack that portion of your being right before you go into that, it has the highest effect on who you really are. You will be amazed if you do that shit for a week straight, 2 weeks, man, hey. It changes everything. I get excited when I get to speaking about small methods, because that shit, it'll change everything. It'll change everything. If you can do that shit for a couple days in a row, you'll see a change that'll make you want to do it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I'm sure you'll be coming back on this live with some testimony. So yeah, that's just one little thing that I feel like you could definitely use for sure.
Can
Go ahead, Coach.
That a little bit?
Please.
7 always gives you guys the goods. When it comes to masculine energy, he really knows how that end process looks. But in the feminine, now you need to do both. You need to do both. That's dead ass. But in the feminine, you live in the now, so you cannot wait until your rest time. And when you're going and walking throughout your day, when I encounter past versions of myself, they will come in the form of thoughts first. And sometimes they'll come in thoughts, and then it's like it'll reverse engineer. It'll be the thoughts first, and then it'll go into the different language coming from my throat or how I see things, and then it'll start having my heart feel funny, right? I'll get sad, I'll get depressed. And what I do now when I'm living in the now, in the moment, because that's where you really change things, is in the now. Now you need to like what the masculine energy represents, it represents that exclamation point. It represents that end. It represents it's done, it's finished, right? And 7 gives that. But in while you're walking throughout your day and you're in the feminine, when those thoughts arise, I find myself like this new version of me going to war with that old version of me. And I will tell that old version of me, or that old thoughts and those old emotions, I will tell it to shut the fuck up. Like, dead ass. I don't care if it looks crazy. I don't care what people think about it. I will call that thing out right now. Listen, you don't belong in this new universe that I'm trying to build. That's the old version of me. If I see myself, if I have made a decision to cultivate a relationship that I know is good for the next version of me, and there's a thought that enters my head, now this is taking some motherfucking time. Y'all don't even know. If a thought enters my head, I will fight it. And then if I've made the decision, if I see myself being in the wrong or that old version of me, like coming up to rear its ugly head, I will surrender and I will submit because I trust. And that is something that you do in your feminine energy. And I've been noticing that the men in my life, because I've decided to upgrade the feminine version of me, they come into my life and they'll speak a truth into my life. And then I'll have a choice. I'll have a choice to either surrender. I'll have a choice to submit. But when I do those things, I'm going to do it to seek clarity. I'm going to be like, hey, listen, could you expound on that? But internally, I'm telling myself, surrender, submit. People don't have to know that. That's literally what's happening. I'm telling myself, be quiet. I'm telling myself, listen to what I'm saying. I'm telling myself, hey, listen, your body is experiencing a feeling right now that is very similar to what you experienced 2 years ago. And you cannot believe the feeling in your body right now because that is the old version of you. I have to tell myself that. Because if I don't tell myself that in the now, about time I go to sleep, my whole fucking day is fucked off. And for a woman, women speak 60,000 words more a day than men. We have feminine energy produces more thoughts and more feelings and more emotions than masculine energy. So it is a second by second cultivation. It is a day by day and hour by hour, minute by minute fight. It's not me fighting nobody else. It's me fighting the old version of me every day when I wake up. I wake up and I look in the mirror and I say, bitch, we going to be better than who we was yesterday. That's who we going to be. And then, like Seven said, because masculine energy brings structure, I document my tangible results. I document them and I share them with other awakened men and women that can congratulate me, and they understand what I'm doing because they understand that I'm winning this war. These little small successes, I've learned the hard way that you can't share them with everybody because people think, oh, that's just such a small thing. That's just such a small thing. And what they do is they deflate your fucking vision. They deflate you. Stay away from them people. That's poison. That is poison. So as you live in the now, I would say a trick that I use, custom different versions of you the fuck out. I cuss different versions of myself out all the time. I'll be like, bitch, that is not you today. That was you 2 months ago. And I'll be serious about it. I cuss myself out in the morning at the parking lot at the grocery store. I was like, bitch, this ain't us no more. So that's what I suggest, and that was all I needed to say.
I appreciate y'all. Oh, go ahead, Sunshine.
There's a scripture in the Bible. It says, resist the devil and he will flee from you, right? So when you think about the devil, it really is a representation of resistance, opposition, right? Not necessarily evil or bad, but in order to have anything, you also have to have the opposite of it, right? So if you think about like a wheel on a car, if there's no gravel friction on the road, there's nothing to resist that wheel, it can't move forward. It's just going to spin in place. So resistance comes to propel you. So when those old thoughts are coming up, for me, sometimes I cuss them out. But sometimes for me, the harsher approach leads to suppression and repression as opposed to like really healing those things. So what
I don't want to be all I can be. That's kind of how I was. So when I finally started saying, like, damn, Adisa, this isn't just affecting the world. This is affecting the people that you hold dear and close. This is affecting those people that you love. This is affecting your children. When I started seeing that, like for me, I was like, fuck all that gentle shit. I bitch slap my own self. I bitch slap my own self and be like, bitch, we ain't going the fuck to sleep no goddamn mode. Because I recognize the tendency of my own spirit. I recognize I'm an empath. I'm very sensitive. And when you awaken fully, you feel all that shit. And then the world becomes, for me, the world became like too much. I'm like, God damn, there's pain every goddamn where. Let me go back to sleep. Nobody wants to feel all this goddamn pain. So when I see, because it'll happen when it comes to this work, you'll be like, you know what? Look at that shit in the masculine. They're not really a part of you. They're a part of the masculine. They're separate from you. Their energy is not connected to you. Whatever the fuck is happening in their motherfucking family, that's their motherfucking business. Stay asleep. And I knew that my purpose, I wasn't called to that. I knew that I was. And I had to, in order for me not to stay asleep, I had to be harsh with myself. Now, when I became a disciple to my own energy, because in some arenas of in my life, I'm a disciple to my own energy. In some areas, I feel motherfucking lost. But when I became a disciple, then in those areas, I can be gentle with myself because the discipline won't allow me to fall back. It won't allow me to backslide. But in some areas, like when it comes to this motherfucking weight loss, bitch, I ain't, because I know if I stick one chicken bone in my mouth, I'm eating them all. I know how that shit works. Like, I know, because I know me. I'm not going to lie to myself. And I also know that I'm very convincing. I know that I'm very convincing. And believe me, I can convince myself. So in those regards, because I know me. Don't even bring it in the motherfucking house. Bitch, you can't bring that shit in the motherfucking house. You know it's finna fucking happen. You know it's going down, okay? Because that's how we are. So in this one area, I bitch slapped myself. And when I was at the grocery store, I had to bitch slap myself before I went into that grocery store. But in other areas, I can be gentle. But not in that one.
Yeah. You said question though like 5 times. What was your question?
That was the question. She was just trying to figure out like, does that always work? Basically, like that gentle shit. And so for me, what I have learned about myself is it depends on which version of me. Like, so if we're talking about my inner child, Shanice, coming up asking for something or wanting something, like she don't need all that shit. She don't need all that hard ass, harsh ass shit. That's what was the problem for her. Is that my mama talked to me like hard as fuck. You know, she don't need that. She needs a gentle response. She needs to be explained, have things explained to her. She needs to be heard. She wants to express herself and talk and tell you how she's feeling and why she wants what she wants. So I give that space for her. Now, teenage me, like adolescent, me, she thinks she know every motherfucking thing. So sometimes that bitch needs to be like, look, bitch.
Yeah.
We're going to, and that's how she talk, and she can receive messages that way. And if we're talking about like older 20 plus me, then she's super intellectual and she wants, the same thing that my inner child, she wants explanation. She just wants to know why. She wants to know the intellectual thing behind it, and then she'll get on board with whatever it is my higher self is calling us to. And she can take some of the tougher talk, but when it comes to like it's a problem that's coming from the root of my inner child, I have to be gentle with her because all of that hollering and screaming and acting the fool and cussing and shit, she don't like that shit.
That was good. That was hella good.
That was hard.
That was bars.
Shit.
Like, I just sat here for like the last 20 minutes, right? Just sitting, watching, learning from y'all. And one of the biggest tools that I'm going to apply, that I'm going to implement into my life is as I journal, I'm going to think about the situation like Brother Seven said. Okay, how would I handle this situation, right? So I'm going to write that down, how I would handle the situations that I encounter, how I planned on it, what's plan A, plan B, plan C. And 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, I'm going to go back and look at that situation with a new and evolved mind and be like, look how much you've grown. Look at the options that you gave yourself. Look at how you were thinking that you were the best ways that you wanted to handle this situation. These were the very best ways that you can think of at this time. Now, a year later, look how many other ways that you thought about handling the same situation. So I'm going to use that to be able to document and see my growth for myself, because I like being able to be like, I know I've grown, but how can I physically, like, what documentation can I have? And a lot of times, for me, that's like bank account, that's like monetary stuff, or I want to have something tangible for me to be able to look at it and be like, damn, this how you was thinking last year, bro? Because I do that with some of my journals now, but it was never like actual situations. It was just like writings. So I can go back and read a writing and see how much I evolved. Now I want to go back in actual situation. Let me see how I was going to plan on handling this, how I was thinking about going about this, and then look at that a year later. So that's what I took from today. I love y'all so much.
Sunshine, listen, you just helped me so much. You just helped me so much because the way that we talk to ourselves regarding subjects is also those personal relationships that we manifest in our lives. Okay, so in certain areas, when men show up in my lives, like, you see how I talk to myself, I'd be mad I'd be mad as fuck when they be like trying to be like, you know you don't need that shit. You know you don't need that shit. Could you put that shit down? I'd be mad as fuck. Be like, shut the fuck up. But then that's how I talk to myself. And you just helped me to see that's why I manifest that. That is exactly why I manifest that. Because if I manifest that nice guy, I already fucking know what's gonna fucking happen. I already fucking know. Because it's in me. Do you see that? So while you were saying that, Sunshine, I was like, hold up, let me rethink this shit. Because how I'm talking to myself is also what I'm telling the universe, how I want that partner to talk to me. Right? And as I said, in some areas, I'm very gentle with myself. Extremely gentle with myself. But when it comes to something I know I can't play about no more, I'm not gentle with myself at all. And in those arenas, I really don't want him. Like, I'm gonna talk shit and I'm gonna fight and shit. Like, for real, I am. But I want him to, like, stay hard. Stay motherfucking hard. Don't you get flaccid on me. Stay motherfucking hard, right? That is what I want. So, you know what? You really helped me see, like, seven. Why are you looking like that?
Hey, we love when you do the strong arm.
Hey, so and the flaccid, the strong arm and the flat. Don't be like this. Don't be like this.
I like hard dicks. I don't like soft ones. I don't. You need to be more. No, you need to.
I can't invite nobody to class after you saying that. I was just about to invite people to class.
Why not? It might be some people on here that like hard dicks too.
Yeah,
I guess so. But if speak for yourself.
Oh, whatever, Dirk. Look. I'll be honest, and y'all said the judgment free zone. I could be honest. I'm telling y'all, I need him to be hard, because, like, on the stuff I don't want to play with, I don't want to, and I need his encouragement not to fucking play with me. I need him not to allow me to sweet talk his ass. I need that shit. I know I need that shit, okay? But I'm going to talk shit to him while he being himself, because that just makes it interesting and fun for me. That's all. And I need him to know that. Okay, that's it. Makes life interesting. Okay. Yeah, we've been an hour and a half. Go ahead.
Let's get up out of here. We love y'all.
We do. But invite them to class.
So on Wednesdays, we have a very great class to where how Sister Sunshine gave y'all so much. Like, she gave y'all a lot of tangible things to apply to your life.
She did.
Brother Seven gave you a lot of tangible things to apply to your life. Coach Adisa gave you a lot of tangible things to apply to your life. Class be like that. And it's not just us. It's other spirits. It's other energy. So if you really want to heal, you really want to grow, you really want to just find out who you are, like, for real. All BS to the side. Like, that's what happens when I come to class. I find out something new about myself every time. So if you're in that place in your life, man, come join us. Comment Golden Ticket. We'll go back to the comment. If you're looking at the replay, comment Golden Ticket. If you see this on Facebook, comment Golden Ticket. We'll reach out to you, but we'd love to have you in class. And then I'm going to let the ladies tell about this, but you got to come to the Wednesday class to be able to come to the Monday class. So tell them about the Monday class.
Okay, so speaking of that, before Sunshine, listen, everybody has access to, the private folder, right? So the Cleopatra codes, we don't want everybody having access to that, okay? So make sure, because we be talking much about all the men folks when we be in Cleopatra codes. So listen, I'm sorry, Cleopatra's keys. Listen, that's the class that we teach on Monday nights. And listen, ladies, we are given the insider information. We are given the insider information. We are talking about the magical keys, okay? Yeah, the kind of stuff that make a person want to bow down and worship. Okay, yes, that's the kind of stuff that we are talking about on Monday nights, and it's just for women. It's just for women. If you like to keep it sexy, if you like to keep it sensual, and you like to be a little bit nasty, you're gonna love our class. You're gonna love our class. Now, if you're more of a Puritan, we probably not the tribe for you, okay? But if you feel like you liking us and you digging our vibes and you like how we increase our spirituality, because in the feminine you cannot increase spiritually without increasing sexually. They go hand in hand. Maybe your little sex drive is kind of fucked up. Well, I'm telling you, it's because something somewhere in your spirit is all fucked up. When you begin to expound spiritually, you gonna turn into a fucking freak. You really are. Like, because sex doesn't become something as a distraction. It's no longer that anymore. It's more of an exploration of you with somebody else that's also a different version of you. It's expansive. It really is, and you get to see parts of yourself that you didn't even know you weren't that connected to. Sex is a spiritual experience. It really is, and I think that as a woman, we should have as much glorious sex as we possibly can with a man that is worthy of us. Because that's the only kind of man that's going to make it a spiritual experience. If you're just sitting up here having sex with unawakened man, you touching dead shit. Like, you really are. It's dead. It's dead. And I don't recommend that shit at all, okay? We want live, hard, velvet steel penises. That's what we want, okay? I speak them into existence right now, okay? So
and listen to your coochie when it's telling you it don't want that shit.
Yes, listen to your coochie. You know your doggone coochie is telling you we don't like him. And you sitting up there trying to fulfill a spiritual need with him, with a 3D with his 3D ass, and that ain't gonna fucking work at all. It's not. Let me tell you something. When your spirit is saying we want to connect to other spirits, only an awakened man is going to be able to deliver that to you. Only an awakened man. And when he's awakened, let me tell you something. Your body is going to surrender. Your body is going to submit. Your body is going to open. Listen, your body can do things that you're not even aware that it can do until you choose to fuck the right guy. I'm telling you.
Open the floodgates of heaven.
That's what yes, and rain down on them all day long, okay? So we're going to be talking about that in Cleopatra's Keys. If you want to come to Cleopatra's Keys, Sunshine, do you think we should give them a one-time opportunity to come to Cleopatra's Keys?
Nope.
No, okay,
they
great.
Can come to Wednesday night, and if they like Wednesday night, then we can talk about Cleopatra's Keys. But it ain't no strangers in that house.
Ain't nobody getting
ain't no strangers in that house.
Well, y'all heard them.
I've been telling too much of my business, especially after yesterday. No.
You show, right. Oh, yeah, it be real. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. So make sure, go into the leadership folder, because I don't want nobody seeing that one, okay? Because I love Seven and Dirt, but I don't want y'all listening to those, okay? So go ahead and take those out. We don't want them having access to that, okay, Sunshine? Okay. Great. That's all I have. Absolutely love you guys. If you want to follow us, we have a group on Facebook. It's called Sacred, Sexy, and Spiritual. So you can find us on Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram. I'm Adisa, okay, but I'm also known as the Alpha Empath. And we absolutely love all of you guys. If there's nothing else we want to say, I want to bid y'all adios. Is there something else we need to? We done?
Au revoir.
Love y'all.
Adios. Bye-bye.